What is up, RPG? How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, Elliot. How are you?
I'm doing great. Welcome to a tournament finals match review.
Oh, yes.
So you've been playing for several months now, but not quite a year, is that right?
Um, I think it's been about 6 months because I first started getting back into Beyblade in November of last year.
Okay. So you played previous generations or you had interest in past generations?
I knew Beyblade in passing. I had plastic gen
Mm,
stuff, but that was about it.
cool. Okay. And so is this your first time? I don't think this is your first time making top 8, but I think this is your first time fighting for first. Is that right?
Correct. In the time I've had between like the 6 months, I've made top eight twice.
Okay.
This is the first time I've made it into like the top four.
Okay. All right. And you did great. I mean, we all
I
lose to Crisis Crusher.
it was kind of ironic because he was the first matchup of my first match of the day, and he was the final match of that day for me.
Right?
So like it was wild.
Right? Like usually when that happens, they have to. You're if you beat somebody round one and then you see them again in finals, they must have won every single game afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
All
That says much like Crisis is like
So you guys met in Swiss
actual
before, huh?
skill,
Round
and it
one,
was
huh?
like it's. I wasn't surprised. But I was more as like, all right. So he brought in he flipped the switch after like I guess the first loss.
Yeah, right. Okay, so he wins the die roll here, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and you guys both shuffle pretty quickly. So you've already got your top selected in your hand. Uh, what do we pick here? It looks like
I think my first
Dragoon.
one, right, I threw out Dragoon first.
What's the thinking behind that?
The usual thinking is because Dragoon currently right now we both know Dragoon's kind of like just
Hmm.
dominating our current meta. So it has little to no counters,
Yeah.
especially like in our locals. Like most of our bladers tend to run like some stamina, more attackers, if anything, from what I've realized.
Yeah,
And so,
certainly in the Swiss rounds, you see a lot of attackers more than stamina.
mhm. And so Dragoon pointing out in here, I saw that I know Crisis runs his Scorpio on attack, and so my initial idea is to essentially try to avoid the first couple hits, especially with Dragoon, and like because it's on elevate, it kind of runs away on its own. Yeah, he like tapped me there. And then on the second one, we have, I think it's his rod versus my Scorpio. Yeah, I think that's his rod versus my Scorpio, and his is on low orb. Oh, Elliot, are we muted? Are you muted? I can hear you.
Ah, sorry, I was just thinking. So he
Oh,
won the coin flip. So you're on the bad
right.
side. This is interesting. I would be
Mhm.
really scared to launch Scorpio on this close to the pockets. Are do you get the reverse dash?
E-
Yeah, you do. You do get
yes,
the
more or
reverse
less.
dash. So that's really nice.
I'm yeah, I'm very used to fighting from this side. Um, I feel like that's where my mistake was here. Is instead of trying to attack the rod, I just did a reverse dash.
Yeah.
And the reason I used I used the ripcord is because I wanted the extra spin power from launch, but rod being rod.
Hmm.
Uh,
This match,
and that's on.
this match took so long that
Mhm,
I cut around it, right? So like I cut to people telling the anecdote. I do think you're right that you do have to contest. Like the drop stall was that's clean. That's a really clean reverse dash from X side. That's really clean. That would have been really great against an attack type.
mhm,
Um,
and
yeah, I have
yeah,
similar issues where I launch my stamina type the way you would into an attack when you're going up against stamina. I do think the bigger ripcord was the right move for that particular battle. All right, so we go to battle
mhm.
3, and
I think this is the one where my Phoenix killed itself. Yeah, it killed itself.
why are you doing anything like to make that happen? So it's almost
Mm,
completely. I guess you're pushing forward with
I
the launcher hand a little bit.
I've been trying to keep my left hand steady when launching, especially with ripcord, because you did point out to me when we practiced that I tend to like move my left hand, or like when I pull, it kind of just jogs into a certain direction.
Yeah.
In here, I believe, yeah, I held it like I was trying to launch, because for my attackers, I launch it like how I launch my shark. When I used to run shark with
Mm-hmm.
level, where I had it like horizontal,
Hmm.
and I would like tilt it backwards until that way it doesn't fully hit the rail. And at least that way I can do a little bit of a delay, like X dash. So like that way the stamina gets into the middle and it can X dash and try to hit the opponent. In this case, I he drop launched it. Yeah, he drop launched it into the corner.
Well, kind of. You can't drop launch on that side, but he did stall. He stalled on the shelf. I, I
Yeah.
I'm. Let's see. Why does Phoenix? Okay, so So Phoenix off of the launcher goes forward. So there's all this. So and
Hmm.
that momentum takes you all the way across the pole.
Hmm.
Um, which almost good, right? Like sometimes just slamming them early is a good attack. Like if you had like
Hmm.
lined that up and actually tried to do it. Why this goes out here? That's just bad luck, maybe.
And yeah, it just missed
the
its
the
mark
other
or
thing that
the.
I thought was you're so flat. You're very flat. Um
I'm
I
the
would have
reason.
I would have said that the zap bit is going to lose stamina faster than me and that I can win the spin finish. Like I would have done a little bit. You have to do a little bit of a tilt here because
Hmm.
you don't want either of these dashes because he's out of the way for both of
I
them,
think
right?
I think the main fear was because I was doing the tilt. I was afraid of the because I run on a 760. I was afraid of the scrape. That was the only thing I was afraid of, I guess.
Yeah, you know, some
In that
players really like
situation.
the 760. I I don't after especially after watching this footage, I'm not sure if I'm convinced entirely on it. It's just
Hmm.
I think it is a little burst prone.
Yeah, 360 is the thing. Uh, I think we swapped it up. Believe, yeah.
All right, so
And
you flip the stadium to the
this
good side
was
and you put Phoenix first.
and correct. Because I took a because I think before the tournament started, I was talking with Gavin. He gave me a little bit of an insight. He was like, "Run like you have two bays." He always told me like, "Run your attacker, like run an attacker, and then go into like a stamina, because stamina is usually like a free point,
Hmm.
and try to get like some points in the early."
So this is the same matchup we had before, Phoenix and Dagoon.
Hmm. And he killed himself, so it was kind of a mirror, I guess.
Yeah, right. Because he's very flat in the middle of the bowl when he launches, and then the 16 teeth. gear bits just
Just
like it's
launched them in the air. We don't have an aerial stadium, but apparently with enough teeth, you'll catch air.
right? Drop attack stadium.
Hmm I think my second bay was
Yeah.
yep,
Dragoon.
Dragoon. And this was oh no, this is the one I was a little mad at.
So Dragoon into Raw Low Orb. Yeah, this was super disappointing
Hmm
that you couldn't just get the win right here.
The overpot, yeah, into the
And
pocket.
then like after all
This
that,
one,
like
it was it was a spin finish. And the rod got the spin finish. I was like, what?
you're
And like in most cases, when Dragoon against Rod, you just it's like you kind of launch hard into it.
mhm.
But I guess because I guess the saving grace was the Rod catching on the rail.
You know, I think 360
So
low
Goon,
orb operates differently in that matchup.
you think
Yes.
so? Like that
Specifically,
that
that's
build
why he
itself
runs it. 360 low
to
orb.
go against,
Yeah. Um,
yeah.
but he caught like immediately.
hmm
Yeah.
It's interesting too, because this is the what was the ratchet on his
It's 360 low orb. So he goes for the stamina
360 low
of
orb.
360, and then you get the extra defense and lower center of gravity of low orb. Like the thing just won't
hmm
fall over.
Even no matter how many times Dragoon's destabilizing it. And at the end of the fight, it's just Dragoon.
Your reactions are great.
I was just like, what is going on? I thought I had that matchup at least.
Right? Right? I know that feeling for sure.
And this is his attacker versus my stamina. No,
Yeah.
what do you run here?
So this is a
Yeah, it's his.
two scorpions. His is on low flat. All right. So here, I think I would probably want to be doing that cool stall. Like when you were over on this side and you did a cool stall like here, right? But you did it against Wizard Rod. Ideally, you should be able to do a little bit of a stall around here up into the attack type. You did get the great it's really great when you get the hit in the right direction. Like if you make the top's first impact like be with you above them, like that's really nice like that
Yeah.
because that could have been an extreme, right? And it usually sets you into a decent pattern. Do you pick up the point here,
Yeah.
or does he sneakily get it out? Yeah. Okay, you pick up the point here because
He.
he goes actually
I.
went into the
mhm.
pocket.
Yeah, I get the point for the spin finish. I think because of how weighty Scorpio is, I kind of tend to use it as like a denial for them to get into like the X dash area,
Mm,
to like kind of stop them. So like launching it forward because I know some people like to go for their media X dashes, but trying to deny that early, and they lose a lot of power, especially in the hits. It's risky, but some cases it does pay
yeah,
out.
if he had done the instant X dash, this would have been a problem for him. Was that what you're thinking?
hmm Yeah, that was like my initial thought.
I
That surprised me
That's
so much. I was like, "You were in the
crazy,
pocket."
man.
It's not even on what he's running low
It's
rush.
160 low rush, right?
Yeah, I believe so. I can double check the. It's so wild to be like it just bounced out. I was like, what? Let me see. Yeah, Scorpio Zero 160. So he just bounced out the pocket. Uh, you know, got the spin on that one. This one was a fairly close match,
Yeah.
and I think we reshuffled
So
here.
this is an important reshuffle. What?
hmm
I don't know. Most players
I
would
think
probably
it's
put their stamina type up first.
yeah. That's what I think I read into that. My goon into his goon, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, my goon versus his goon. So and I launched into that. And that's something I do need to learn about calling out for a relaunch like immediately. But uh,
Yeah, like
you did tell me it was too late.
the problem with it is the a finish has already been initiated, right? Like
Hmm.
you'd have to it would be not it would not be possible. I don't think it's humanly possible to uh in this tiny window of time, because we're like at like 4 times slow mo. One,
Hmm.
so yeah, it's like 1 second in 4 times
Above
slow
the.
mo. So it's like a quarter of a second, which is like the limit of human reaction time, right? So you need to be like on it, like right.
Mhm.
It's like at the limit of human reaction time. So I had this trouble with the string launcher a ton. Um,
I think for this one, I was trying to do the drop launch
mhm.
into the. It's hard. It's yeah. I'm still trying to figure it out. Still trying to figure out how to
So
do
like
it.
with this, you need to be on this side. If you mirror what's going on here, and you do it on this side, you get a drop stall with Dragoon. Watch
All right,
here.
because the left.
Watch this hand when the string reaches the limit. For
Hmm.
me, my problem with getting this, I think maybe you can see it when you start pulling, that the whole launcher hand is tilting. See how the whole launcher hand tilts up while when the pull starts,
Hmm.
right? And now you're in a different spot. My other problem was not
Hmm.
letting go of the string launcher handle. Like they call it a slip grip, but that's kind of a trap, because if you don't let go, oh, you don't. Almost seems like you can see plastic or like powder eject from your launcher. Oh,
Oh, I see
do
what
you
you
see
mean.
that? Holy, you can actually see
I s-
like stuff eject from the launcher when it reaches the limit. You
yeah, I
see
saw
that?
like a little
It's a little.
white, a little white puff. What the heck? All right, because shows like that. That I realized the Dragoon string launcher I currently have is less resistant
Hmm.
now after using it so many times. I think that's the reason why I went out and got like another Dragoon. I mainly went to go like get it for the launcher and for
All right.
like some spare parts. But um,
All right. So
his
it's 1-1-2, and you go
uh,
to the next Beyblade. Phoenix on your side versus his rod. I think that this is when you say we're playing a game, right?
I believe so. We're playing a game.
Yeah, there you go. That's gonna be your catchphrase when you're about to smoke somebody. Just say we're playing a game, and then just see through the matrix and just bop bop.
That God, Phoenix has been such a staple.
Yeah.
I don't think like it's a nice go-to bay. I feel like it's one of the more balanced Beyblades we have because it's good for attack. You could use it for
Mm-hmm.
stamina, but I think a lot more people just see it for attack.
Yeah.
Because like that was probably one of the more clean X dashes, the clean extremes I've had in a while. Just bop bop,
That's real
easy
classic.
slap.
All right. So
Yep, and then Crisis gets
right. So
the relauncher. I
yeah. I don't exactly. I didn't put in the footage.
think this is the last one. No,
No. But he calls relaunch like right.
immediately.
So I'm like I can give it
Hmm.
to him. Like, but if a finish initiates, I can't, which is kind of brutal. That's
Gotcha.
why a lot of people like the own finish rule.
Hmm.
All right, so here,
This
oh no,
it's
so here,
it's a mirror matchup
yeah, but
again.
if I think this would have been the time for that drop stall, and then you get a
Yeah, I think this
stall,
is
and
the
then he just randomly picks up the KO.
yeah
Just
yeah.
wait, bully.
So they're both on the same like it's both Scorpios. His was on attack, mine is on stamina.
Yeah, like maybe if you
This
were a
is
rounder shape, maybe if you were a rounder shape, that random contact wouldn't be in.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
This is me. Yep, this is my Dragoon versus
looks like his dragoon.
Gravity.
All right.
That Dragoon on Zap is actually really nice. I feel like it's a nice little
Is it though?
and go. Well, in these in this in these in the matchups that we're seeing currently, it has an issue.
All the 16 teeth bits do that, man. All right. So I did a cut in the YouTube video, but I kind
Hmm.
of regret it now. Here's what actually
What's up?
happened. So you and Mike line up.
Ah! All right, I broke my. I fixed it, by the way.
Oh
I was able
no.
to. I got some Gorilla Glue and got my thing
Okay,
fixed.
but that's not what I care about. I don't care about
No, no, that's what I
a
care about.
plastic 3D printed deck box. What I care about is this happens, right? And then in like 1 second later, our Phoenix can't hold a ratchet.
Ooh.
Right.
You
So
think it was because of that? Oh, it may.
all right, so I cut that part out of the video because it was just awkward. Like I don't know, it just breaks the flow too much. So I cut it out. But here now you're gonna launch that same Phoenix that we just saw you drop on the floor, and now
I was just like, all right,
yeah,
rip hard because I'm going against Wizard Rod. Smack
and like
hits the rail and it just
yeah,
pops off. Oh, that's so upsetting.
so like if we assume that it's a perfectly intact ratchet, getting through. I don't know. That's a really cool snipe. Like I feel like if this was a better version of
That would have
Beyblade,
been.
this would have been a extreme. Right? Like why isn't that an extreme? Right? And then you just get bisected on the line. So
Yeah, it hit the line and it's just like, you know what? I'm just gonna decapitate. Oh.
that just feels so bad. So
Yeah, no,
yeah, go ahead.
no, no, I'm sorry, because because I was, because I went back home and I was looking at my things, like, why did it pop off like that? Because I usually check, my stuff before fights and just make sure all the ratchets and the bits are all
Hmm.
good. I guess I just didn't check it that time. But either way, I had an absurdly fun time during that tournament. I'm gonna be real honest. It was a boss gauntlet for me that week. I fought. It was Mr. B, David, Crisis, Gavin. Like I fought so many of the people that are usually in like the top cut consistently, and I'm just like, why? This is fun as hell, but like,
Yeah,
jeez. And I said it like so many times throughout the entire tourney. I was like, I'm fighting for my life here. I'm fighting to get to uh and like a part of me feels like I didn't want to disappoint them
sure.
with like with a half-assed match. So like I really did try my best because because usually I would run like two attackers and a stamina bay. Usually like Dragoon or I would have run Dragoon or I would have run the Scorpio on ball.
Hmm.
But then I guess something told part of me was like, you know what? Let's make a more balanced deck this time. So I removed the one attacker, went for a balanced stamina and an attack bay, and I felt that was a nice deck to have for
Yeah,
me because I can cover more bases.
yeah, absolutely.
Hmm.
So
And I will say, oh, like you are a good teacher. You are a good teacher in Beyblade. I will
I
say that.
appreciate that. Do these things mainly to learn from other people. Um, but yeah, so you didn't go undefeated, but playing the better players definitely increased your tiebreakers to make sure you made it into top cut.
Hmm.
What did you end up going? Was it 4-1, 3-2?
In the group in the Swiss
Yeah.
stages, I went
Okay.
4-1. Mr. B was the only one that handed me my loss.
Oh, he's a really tough opponent. So
Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. I lost him in the Swiss, but when we got into the finals, I actually squeezed out a win against him.
Oh, that's crazy.
Um, yeah.
Yeah, like some days the Swiss system is kind of weird. So like some days you'll get handed a bunch of easier matchups, and some days you're gonna get handed a bunch of harder matchups. And if you win them, or even if you lose them, that increases your tiebreakers because they're some of the better players. So you're gonna get in anyway. So sometimes
Hmm.
making it in is about being lucky with the Swiss system. Um, being lucky with your pairings. I felt like I got some nice easy pairings. Didn't have to see any of the really difficult players until Top Cut, and immediately got booted out.
Oh, that's always like I always hate those feel. I always like I don't hate it, but it's also it kind of just sucks half the time. It's like you would do really really good in Swiss, get into the top eight, and then like you're just knocked out. It's just like what?
Hmm.
What happened?
Yeah.
I did my best. Um, yeah, no, like
so
I
what made you?
we
So what made you
are.
switch up? So like your previous tactic had been, I'm gonna play with my favorites. I'll run Shark because Shark's my dude. We'll run double or triple attack. And you've altered up your strategy in the past couple weeks, and I've noticed at least. What led to you making that change?
I think it's mainly because yes, I do love doing the free play fighting with your favorite Beyblades, but I also do like fighting people who are either at my level or higher just so I can learn more. And I feel like that's something a lot of us are trying to like go for is like we're trying to get better. I know some people are like, I'm gonna run an all attack deck and I'm gonna master all attack deck. You do you, Chief. You do you. But I know that there are some players that are still trying to find their own like style and how they want to fight. Currently, even now, like there are still players like what are some good combos? What kind of run with this stuff? And sometimes I do find myself like usually after work, I kind of find myself looking for. I go into like the WBO like build a combo and just see like what people are running on certain bays.
Hmm.
And I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. And then usually by like Thursday or Friday, I find myself sitting at my desk and I was like, all right, let's build our deck for the weekend.
Nice.
And like we'll see what clicks. But I feel like right now this current deck running a stamina balanced and attacker bay is kind of like it's clicking with me.
Hmm.
So like we'll see how like I'll run it again. Might be with different blades. That's why I usually ask. That's why I asked about Nightmail or Phoenix. Um,
Mm.
as possible swap out replacements. But like if I'm like Phoenix does do well against things like a defense bay or a stamina bay, Nightmails you throw it at
Hear
attackers.
me out. What if
What's up?
we take the 40-gram attack layer and we put it on an attack bit,
Hmm.
and then we take the ball bit and we put it on a defensive layer like Wolf or Rod? Because like
Mm,
sure, Phoenix. Like I could be a pedant and I would describe all of the Beyblades in the deck as balance, right? But most people would think Phoenix was attack at least. I think that an attack
mm,
layer on a ball bit is probably I probably wouldn't describe that as stamina so much as I would balance.
no.
The thing that I
Yeah.
would have liked to see, and maybe it happened in other matches that weren't on film, were the Scorpion on ball combo picking up over finishes. Did that happen for you?
Mm, I had a couple not yeah, I actually had a couple during the Swiss matches
Okay.
where uh the attacker bay would launch Scorpio into the extreme line, cause it to swap into attack mode while on ball bit, and it was because of how like the blunt
Yeah.
ends are, was doing recoils. I was just like, oh, it was in attack mode. So it can work. I kind of want to. I've known people say put the Scorpio on free ball. That's what people were looking at. I know some people commented like ball's not the way because it doesn't reutilize its gimmick. I'm like, it doesn't have to utilize its gimmick in order to be good.
No, it's like if it's for a stamina defense type, it's better with the wings out, I bet.
because the plastic will guide the attacker bay bit into the blunt points. So it's kind of like, yeah, as I said, like it's gonna guide it into the blades. That's why I'm trying to like I'm probably gonna experiment it with it on either low orb or try to get my hands on a free ball.
Oh, okay. Did
Yeah,
you never
but
bought Wolf?
I have wolf, but I never found use for free ball. So I sold free ball to I think it was Elliot or it was somebody. I know I sold free ball to somebody.
Oh, whoops.
Yeah, no, whoops. Yeah, that's my bad.
Whoops.
Um, but I'm getting free ball from somebody else. They're willing to sell it to me. Uh, yeah, no, I'm probably gonna mess around with some builds before the weekend. Looking forward to what everyone brings. I think because of how we have things currently, I don't see many people signed up, but that's probably because other people are busy.
Hmm.
Mm. But I
I'll have
do.
to check on that. I have to skip next week for work stuff.
Oh, you're out. You're out.
Yeah.
You're out this
I'll show
weekend.
up for filming, but that's it.
It's all good. Aside from that, I don't know. I think I'm gonna probably mess around with some stuff for Swiss, but I think I found what deck I like, and I know some people haven't had best lucks in these past couple weeks, and I always tell people I would tell people like every blader has their day.
Yeah.
There'll be a day where you'll just go uh 2-3, 1-4, and then the week after you just go 5-0. It happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe you're off your game. Maybe the stars aren't aligned. Who knows? But I'm saying like if there's a time, I'll tell people if there's a time where like if you feel that you're in a rut, take a step back. There's no harm from like at the end of like we have a very nice luxury with our tournament where it's every Saturday.
Hmm.
So you can take a break. You can take a step back, reevaluate, and then if you whenever you're ready to come back, come and play. Because like it's the if anything, this the people at our tourney are very welcoming.
Absolutely. Um,
They're very welcoming when it comes to the Beyblade.
this was your first week judging. Do you think it gave you the bonus power to push you over the
Ugh,
edge into second stage?
maybe it did. Who knows? Maybe it gave me maybe Judge Power gave me that extra boost to get into finals. But we'll see what happens. Like honestly, judging hasn't been too bad.
Tell me more
Um,
about that.
so at first I thought it was like quite intimidating, and then when the little test came out to like, hey, see if you have the qualifications to judge, my butt got like a 30 to 40%. I was just like, ooh, not a good judge. But um, it was a nice experience. It's not even a matter of like, haha, I get to see what the bladers have for their Beyblades and whatnot. It was more just like it's nice to see. I guess I just like to see people have like duke it out with their Beyblades. It's just so it's very like fascinating to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I definitely felt the same way. That like I don't
Mhm.
remember what combos people are running. Because there's
Nope.
just too many. You just see too many matches to remember.
Like the yeah. If I'm gonna remember your bays, I'm gonna remember it when after the first round, and then when I'm deciding my next order.
Right.
That's usually where most of my thinking power goes. Because like I'm not gonna like if I'm sitting where you are right now, I'm just like, all right, time to see it. As long as no one self KOs, no one's Beyblade hits the rails.
Right.
Like those are the things like I'm looking out for as the judge.
Yeah.
So and that's something, and like it, a part of me does feel bad sometimes where like they launch. I tell them like after the launch like, hey, I gotta check something after the match
Hmm.
because I think I felt like, oh, you probably hit the rail or you
You mean the shroud?
like you hit the sorry, yeah, you hit the shroud or something didn't
Hmm.
like you hit midair. I have to
Right.
check. And then like after I check, I was like, yep, you got to relaunch, and then it changes the outcome. I feel bad for
Hmm.
it, but part of me is like because I'm a judge, I can't really feel bad about it.
Right.
It's just something that
It's
happens.
good that you
It's
call it early,
unfortunate.
right? That's the most important part.
Hmm.
You're
Like,
calling it early, so nobody gets too invested in how this particular battle goes.
yeah, it's like I gotta check something. Let me see it. And
So that
honestly, I look forward to more like the people's growth.
yeah, yeah, it's cool getting to see people get better. Even if they grow up and whip your ass, like David did.
Oh yeah,
David
no.
kicked the shit out of me, and I was like, "Oh, he's growing, he's learning." Yeah. Oh man. Um.
And that's one thing I do like is like us as a collective, like we're put like we have some cocky players in our tourney, but like and all in all, everyone's just trying to get better at the
Mhm.
game. Or like they're trying to get better at the game, or like they're gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna be known as like the Dragon Master. I'm gonna use all Drake bays. I'm just like,
Mhm.
okay, all right, Chief.
Yeah.
Or like or they're just known as a person who uses meta and talks about meta all the time.
On the
And I'm
subject
just
of
like,
that judge test, don't worry
mm,
about failing that. It had some problems on initial release. Um,
mm-hmm,
we only need a couple. Well, I think the rules are we need one certified judge, and Gavin and Geetster and Crisis passed that, so you don't actually have to take that. Way more important that you are enjoying judging uh, than it is
mm-hmm,
that you pass any technical quest, any technical test. Especially since we have a head judge review. So if anybody's like,
mm-hmm.
RPG, you actually missed the rule on page 34 of the rule book, like,
There's a rule book.
is your name a Dragon Quest reference, by the way?
Mine? No. Uh, I've had like so many different names, but like I kind of just stuck with RPGs. Like it's mainly yes, I would say half yes, half
Right.
no.
Okay. What's so the half yes
I get
is
like
okay, but what's the half no?
half yes, like yeah, like half yes. It's a Dragon's Quest reference. The other half is just like I just like the whenever because I tend to play a lot of
Hmm.
JRPGs, and then like the first enemies you usually see are like the slime monsters, and I kind of like I find them endearing. I find them cute because like they're just there.
Yeah,
They're just living their
they're big
life.
chillin'.
They're just big chilling.
That's awesome. Well, I hope to see you big chillin' and Top Cut again soon.
I hope so too. If I make it, we'll see what happens this weekend. But I'm looking forward to what everyone brings.
All right, sir. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me. You have a great one.
Oh, you too as well. Have a good
All
night.
right.